How hot do you reckon it is outside today?
24.
Is it 24?
Yeah.
And it's only what now? 10 a.m?
Yeah.
11 a.m?
Has
Something like that?
summer officially come?
This, my friend, is barbecue weather.
Where's my pork chop?
What is your favourite barbecue commandment?
Commandment?
Is it
Condiment?
Condiment, that's the one.
Yeah,
condiment.
Yeah. Well, you love a condiment, don't you? Because we said that we were going to get rid of mint sauce, and
No, we didn't. No.
The comments all agreed.
No.
No.
We didn't say we were going to get rid of mint
but we
sauce.
agreed.
No, we didn't agree. You said it, right? And my favourite barbecue condiment is actually a minted lamb chop. So
It's not.
Yeah, it is.
Do you actually do that?
Yeah.
You joking?
yeah, minted lamb. What?
Mate, barbecue for barbecue sauce.
Barbecue lamb.
Barbecue sauce.
No.
Barbecue pork chop.
No, mate. I don't eat
Pork
pork,
belly?
do I? I don't eat pork.
Yeah, but you'd love
Well,
it.
I say I don't eat pork. I had a sausage yesterday. So.
I think
Barbecue
you do
weather.
forget.
And why will we be throwing a barbecue today?
Tell me,
To celebrate.
what are we celebrating, mate?
What are we celebrating?
We haven't signed anyone that important recently, have
Amari Kellyman. Kellyman?
we? Who?
Kellyman.
Who?
Hugh?
Yeah, who is he?
Hugh? Sorry?
Who is he?
Amari Kellyman.
Oh God, who interrupts us? If that's not Jose Mourinho,
You're in big trouble now, mate. Big trouble. I am in the middle of a studio session. Yes, you're live on air. Anything you want to say?
Yeah, stop looking at your laptop and look at the camera.
Oh, piss off. You can go. We'll leave that in. Amari Kellyman, he's a great player.
do you know a lot about him? Do you? How much have you watched of him? Would you say this season? Have you watched every game?
I haven't watched every game.
Yeah,
But
just 80%.
I've done extensive research.
Oh God, I bet
okay.
you have, yeah.
He's left-footed, a little bit like Michael Olise. Do you know what? Right, he actually plays a little bit like Michael Olise because you can sometimes see him in the middle, but you often see him cutting off the right. When he cuts in off the right, he likes a shot on his left, not just like Michael Olise, a little bit like old Estavio William.
Okay.
Have we got the pronunciation of that right? Someone did teach
Well,
us.
you know who's worrying about the pronunciation, for God's sake, mate? You know, we never worry about it. And you don't read the comments, so.
I don't read the comments. So, 6'3". However,
He's a striker, isn't he? Why are you comparing him to Elise?
he's not a striker.
He is.
Not from what I'm fucking watching.
Oh, there you go then.
Why? Do you
Then
think
you
he's
know,
a striker?
That's what people keep saying to me, he's a striker.
Yeah, I mean, he is a striker in a way, but everything that I'm seeing of him, he's either cutting him from wide, he's in the number 10 position. I tell you what, though, he's got an eye for goal.
Yeah.
He likes a shot from range.
Yeah.
We like that, don't we?
Yeah, we do. Yeah. Yeah.
Scraps for Cole Palmer and the rest of them to run onto. Yeah, I really like him from what I'm seeing from him.
Oh, yeah,
But
19 million quid? You like him that much, do you?
Well, 19 million quid at 19 years old. That's quite high. Do you know what Bellingham was signed for when he was 17 years old by Dortmund?
Tell me, I don't know how
Have a
much it
guess.
was. 20.
25 million.
Yeah.
So obviously, 19 at 19 is not as, hefty as 25 at 17, but it's still a price, isn't it?
Are you being sarcastic about how excited you are about this guy, or are you being serious? Because, like, for me, all of the other Chelsea fans right now are tearing their hair out. We're worried about this. Are you not worried about it?
Well, I do kind of think that the days of blockbuster signings are a thing of the past, especially for Chelsea Football Club. So say, for example, do you remember when we signed Fernando Torres, some of these big blockbuster signings we've made? And by the way, even like Eden Hazard when he came wasn't a blockbuster signing. He come from Lille. Like people in football and like just general football fans knew that Eden Hazard was like, he had a really high ceiling, but he wasn't like a blockbuster signing. When I talk about blockbuster signings, I am very much talking about like Shevchenko, Fernando Torres.
Yeah.
Can you think of more? Lukaku back from Inter Milan. That was a blockbuster signing. So what I'm saying is, I do think blockbuster signings for this club are a thing of the past. I would also err on the side of have they even worked for us that well? And what I'm looking at in Kellyman is a player that Aston Villa fans are going to be really gutted to let go of. And when you look at 20 million, right, for example, well, if he comes in and does a half-decent job, we're going to get back the 20 million either way. So why are Chelsea fans so fuming about this? Because this is a 20 mil. Hold on. This is a 20 mil that we're splashing that could become a £100 million player in years to come.
No, it can't.
No chance.
That's ridiculous.
Why?
Thing to say. I don't think anyone
Because he plays
would
for
agree with
Northern
you.
Ireland.
No, but as in, like, where are you getting £100 million from? Like, what in his record have you seen that's really exciting? Do you know what's funny? Actually, we were sat on this table recently.
7 goals in
and
12 games.
Wow,
last season
amazing.
at under 21 level.
Amazing. Fantastic. Brilliant. I'm sure David Washington has been much worse than that. There you go.
He's a tall striker and all, isn't he?
The fact that we have him, but also the fact that Joey was sat here, exalting Guirassy, saying that it would be an amazing deal if we signed this guy. That guy could have fit straight into the first team. You were so excited about it. It wouldn't have cost loads of wages either because he's not on a big wad of cash. You could have signed him for less money than this guy. So what's going on?
Well, I don't massively see it as, it's Guirassy or him. And to be honest, like, even with the Guirassy stuff, like, we haven't heard that much update on it. Here's what I would say about it. I have sat and said to you already now that I don't actually think we need that much in this window, right? Yeah. I think we probably need another defender in. Yeah. Because I would imagine that Trevor Chalobah's going to go. If Trevor Chalobah doesn't go, I don't think we need another defender in, right? Yep. Then I think you look over at left back, potentially. One recognised left back that you could probably hang your hat on is going to be fit and available in Cucurella. Obviously, Lewis Hall's now gone. Ian Matson's now gone. Ben Chilwell historically comes with his injury issues. So that could be an area that we might need reinforcement in. But once again, who's the starter? Cucurella's the starter.
Cucurella's the man.
Despite what that... Let's not get into Gary Neville. We'll talk about Gary Neville later. But despite what Gary Neville says, Cucurella's the man. We all know that. Then I'm going on about a backup option coming in again. If we'd sign a centre-back option, that'd be a backup option. We don't need midfielders, in my opinion. If we keep hold of Conor Gallagher, definitely not. We've spoke about the potential need for a number 9. And I think that another Aston Villa man, Jhon Duran, is probably going to come to Stamford Bridge, and we'll speak about that. So what I'm saying now, right, is I don't think the squad needs all that much work done on it. So for me, it's not like there's this gaping hole in our squad and we need to address it this summer. Otherwise, we've got no chance of being any better next season, right? So I don't feel like we're in desperate need. So then signing a 20 million youngster who could potentially have a really high ceiling, or potentially we could get 20 million down the line from him and make our money back, right? And he's probably going to be on low wages as well. I don't see that as something that I'm going to, throw my toys out the pram at.
Can we talk about conspiracy theories? You love a conspiracy theory, don't you? So, look, this guy's come in, his price tag is over what really we should have paid for him. I think that's quite widely acknowledged right now in the community. I think you're also talking about Matson going the other way, and Matson's going to be, what, £35 million they're going to pay for him, apparently?
I've heard they're actually going to pay about 40 million for Matson.
Okay, well, there you go.
Because he had a £35 million release clause in his contract, and it expired last week.
Oh, wow. Okay. Breaking news, release clause watch. yeah. So, look, I have a theory, and I want you to humour me on this. The theory is this. Matson goes to Villa. This young guy comes in. Everyone is PSR compliant because you can realise the sale of that academy player immediately. It goes into this year's books. Aston Villa are compliant. They're happy. We've offloaded a player that we needed to offload. It goes towards our books for this year. Everyone is a winner, right? I also have a weird theory that some of the budget that's going to go into this deal for Kellyman is also going to then be discounted off the deal that we end up signing for Duran. So, for example, right, if they wanted 30 million for Duran and this guy was actually only worth 10 million, maybe what they've done is they've whacked a bit of money into this deal to be able to do it and then say, right, you're going to give us a discount in the Duran deal. And bear in mind, that would be in next year's books.
Like it.
So I have a feeling, and I'm almost certain of this, because the Duran rumours, they're not going away. We're hearing some weird stuff about him not being mentally up for it and whether Chelsea are looking at other options, and there are a lot of other briefings at the moment. So there's obviously either two things going on. They are actually worried about his mentality.
He's mentally up for it.
Yeah.
He wants Chelsea.
Oh, he's a Chelsea fan. He's
Mate, he bleeds blue.
Yeah. Well, we know
but he
that
does
all
want Chelsea.
He does.
I spoke to a Villa fan.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And they said... Despite we actually were just listening to a Villa fan there, and he was saying he's really gutted about Kellyman potentially leaving. He's an academy prospect that they've all been keeping their eye on. They're all very high on him. They're really expecting big things from him. But Villa fan I spoke to said he wasn't too bothered about us getting Kellyman but he really doesn't want us to get Jhon Duran.
Yeah.
Because he said that he really, really believes that Jhon Duran is going to be a top striker. His exact words, well, when he hits a ball, that ball stays here.
It stays here, yeah. We've seen it. We've seen it in the
That was
in
his
the
exact
technique.
words. And
Yeah.
what he said was that actually a lot of the wiggle room there is there for Jhon Duran is because Jhon Duran is actually very unhappy that already he is not in the team ahead of Ollie Watkins. Now, you could look at it two ways. You could go, oh, potential attitude problem. There's no guarantee that he walks into the Chelsea first team, not off the back of a couple of starts for Aston Villa here and there, despite looking impressive. So there's no guarantee of that. So then you look at it and go, could it be a issue, a headache for Enzo Maresca having to juggle a potentially, allegedly, volatile personality? Or could you look at it and go, no top striker, no matter what age they are, even when they're young, would have wanted to be playing second fiddle. So actually, that's the personality trait that you need to have as a top striker.
You do, but then we've had this with Romelu Lukaku. We've had attitude problems with lots of strikers, and it hasn't worked out, has it? This guy does feel like a bit of a different profile than Lukaku. Maybe it's a young Lukaku. Maybe it was a Lukaku as if he didn't get that big move and or any move, we should say, and carried on playing for Chelsea, and then he would have grown and built an affinity with the team. Jhon Duran has got the benefit of saying that he is a Chelsea fan, but Lukaku said that as well. We got to hope that he comes in and hits the ground running. I honestly do think now that there's a lot of backwards and forwards going on. There's a lot of negotiation happening right now, but I do feel that Jhon Duran is the one that will be signing for a striker position.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be Jhon Duran.
Yeah.
And I'm quite excited for Jhon Duran, to be honest. I'm all right with it. But what I would say is if we're signing Jhon Duran and if we're signing Kellyman, and by the way, right, I actually think that Kellyman really, really suits the Enzo Maresca system. Like, when I've been watching these clips of him, no, honestly, mate,
I don't know where you're coming from, because he's not going to be anywhere near the first team for 2 or 3 years.
Well, we'll speak about that. But when I've been watching clips of him, likes the ball at his feet, no caution, very direct. However, these clips are at like under 21 level, and it does just look like he's a man playing against boys at that level. And let's speak about a player that me and you are both big admirers of, not Michael Mudryk, who on the good looking scale, I don't rate Michael Mudryk as being good looking, but we know there's one man. He's not a bad looking bloke, by the way, but there's one man that is a specimen of Chelsea Football Club. Probably one of the best looking players to ever play for Chelsea.
Who are you talking about?
The Lewis Balak.
Oh,
Ruben Loftus-Cheek.
Ruben.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
he is.
How is Ruben getting into this?
Because Ruben Loftus-Cheek looked like man versus boys at youth level, didn't he? Like, when you look at Ruben Loftus-Cheek picking up the ball on the edge of his own box, playing for Chelsea under 21s, driving it all the way through. Was it against Fulham or someone who scored that goal?
That was an unbelievable goal.
Yeah, unbelievable goal, driving it all the way through, just taking on everyone, then scoring, right?
Yeah.
Ruben Loftus-Cheek looked like man against boys at youth level, and despite being a very competent, and maybe that's a discredit to him, despite being a very good player, Ruben Loftus-Cheek didn't go on to be a world beater, and he didn't go on to be a player that would have sold for all that much more than maybe 20, 30 million at his peak type thing. So what I'm saying is there's always the potential there with Kellyman that he doesn't end up being that sort of guy. But I think at 20 million, I would actually take the risk on it, right? And I think that risk reflects a good investment. When you look at the fact that we were speaking about the 28-year-old guy and we were saying, okay, yeah, he's cheaper, but he's only, 5 million cheaper. You could have got him for 15 million or so. I actually think that with that 15 million, it's horses for courses, but that guy, there's no sell-on value for. So you're bringing him in for what he can do right now. This kid has got a higher ceiling than that guy, in my opinion, right? And you're bringing him in knowing there's sell-on value for him, and if he doesn't get used, he doesn't get used.
And to be fair, the Villa Academy, the Villa Academy has produced some unbelievable players.
Chukwuemeka.
Yeah, and also Jacob Ramsey, brilliant
he's
player,
a great player as well.
Apparently, he might be sold as well for the PSR stuff. That'd be a shame if they
I wouldn't be
sold
at
him.
all surprised if they did sell him.
That'd be a real shame, though.
Yeah.
Can we just have a very brief moment just talking about these PSR rules in general? The fact that they're incentivizing teams to get rid of academy players, it really does depress me. I just think now, basically, all of the heart of the club that you built up over a long period of time is just being ripped out for financial reasons, and it does worry me. And I do think in the future, the Premier League will change those rules, because if you don't see young academy players coming through and being in the first team for the clubs that they were, engineered in, that they were brought up in and improved upon, I feel that's a real shame. I feel like you do miss out on some of those amazing players. And we see it all the time. Like, we've got quality players playing all over the world right now. And I'd almost rather them be playing for Chelsea, but they're not, because it's all this player trading stuff. So I think that's a bit of a shame. And I understand, actually, why Villa fans were feeling the same about this Kellyman guy. Because if they think he's that good, you know, they could have an unbelievable academy team, Villa could. They could be playing those players in the first team right now. Carney could still be there. He'd be playing week in, week out for Villa.
Yeah.
He was.
Yeah. When you say as well about Kellyman coming in, we're actually hearing that he would be going straight into Enzo Maresca's first team squad, right? Whether that means
For pre-season. That's the caveat.
Right.
The caveat is for pre-season.
Yeah, but mate, he might impress. He might impress in pre-season.
He might impress, but we said that about Amari Hutchinson. And he went out on loan straight away. This guy
Did
is
Amari Hutchinson even play him?
This guy, no, he didn't. But as in, like, we saw, there were rumours saying he was first team quality, ready to go. Like, this guy, mate, if this guy is in the first team squad in August, we'll have a bet. I'll lose some more money to you, because I don't see it happening. I don't see him being anywhere near the squad. He'll be on loan, and he'll probably be on loan in the Championship.
Yeah, potentially, but I don't know. We'll have a look, because you know there are players. Say for example, right, the exception to the rule would probably be Cole Palmer and Malo Gusto.
Is he better than Dacho Fofana?
Well,
no.
we don't know.
He's not, but he's not though, because he would have been playing week in, week out. He would have been getting he's
we
nowhere
wouldn't
near
have
a
been
Premier League.
we wouldn't have been playing week in, week out, because he was behind Ollie Watkins. No one got in
Yeah,
ahead
but
of Ollie Watkins.
as in he would
Jhon
have been
Duran
on a loan.
getting ahead of Ollie Watkins.
But he would have been out on a loan. He would have been playing first team football. The fact that he's in the under-21s shows that he's not ready for first team football. They haven't allowed him to do that. If they really thought he was that good, he'd be out playing.
Came on the bench, off the bench in a Conference League qualifier. Set up Leon Bailey for a goal.
I mean, Conference League, isn't it?
Set up Leon Bailey for a goal.
Yeah.
20
Another
mil.
good player. We
20
wanted
mil.
Leon Bailey as well, didn't
20
we?
mil.
Back in the day?
Yeah, yeah.
We're
I don't know.
best buds with him.
I just think like with the likes of Estavio, Kellyman coming in, maybe Jhon Duran, and you look at like Palmer, Madueke, Jackson, Petrovic, they've only got one full season of first team football under their belts. I think that there is that potential there that we could be sort of sleepwalking into another transition season again with bringing in too many young players. But then at the same time, it's like we sort of understand what this board are going for, don't we? So what do we do? Like, do we sit and sound like a broken record and go, no, we need an experienced head in there? Or do we get on with it and try and find the positives in there? I don't know.
I love it. I love your enthusiasm about it. I really do. And I am looking at this so cynically that it is just a pure profit moving exercise, and we're doing Villa a favour here. I don't see it in the same way, mate. I'm not excited about this at all. And I do think you listed some players there. If he's a winger, he's not getting in the team over the wingers that we have, and we're potentially signing even more wingers. And if he's a striker, you've already got Jhon Duran, who will be coming in. You've got Jackson in front of him. You've got Nkunku, who could be playing as number 9 as well. And you've got players like Dacho Fofana that are basically, you know, either there or going to be loaned out. Mate, the depth that we have in those positions now is intense. And that's let alone if we don't sign another number 9 ready to go first team player.
There will be people in the comments, as there have been in recent videos, reminding you that we are going to play a lot more games next season.
Yep.
Our injury record hasn't been great.
No.
And therefore, maybe some of these players might get minutes that you're not anticipating.
So true.
Too.
And this is a very good question to ask the comments. Is this guy better or worse than David Washington? Because they've both been playing under 21s football. We signed this guy. He had a big sort of like reputation, Brazilian wonder kid. Let's see if he's any good. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm very interested to see them. I'd actually love to see them play in a game together and see who ends up, you know, outperforming.
But then, like, we can flip it and say there would have been people, and I understand that he had scored in the Super Cup and he had scored in the Community Shield and he had come off the bench. I think he had a Champions League goal for Man City as well, but he'd never even scored in the Premier League for Man City, Cole Palmer. He came in and you could have potentially, and I'm just playing devil's advocate here, you could have levelled those sort of same questions at him. You could have said, Cole Palmer, is he really any better than Conor Gallagher, who obviously was playing 10 for us in pre-season a lot of the time? So you could potentially have levelled those questions at other players that have gone on to succeed. Malo Gusto, not one person, including me and you sat here, would have ever gone, oh yeah, this kid that's been playing over France, he'll come in and, ease our Reece James worries when he's out injured. We saw that as being a weak link, and we were thinking, we've only got this under-21 French kid who's in the squad. He came in, absolutely smashed it.
Both of those players that you mentioned, both of them have played first-team football. They'd been like Cole Palmer was in the Manchester City squad, title-winning, treble-winning squad, right? And Malo Gusto was playing week in, week out in Ligue 1.
Yeah.
It's very different from under 21s football. It's a mile away from under 21s football. It's interesting. I love your enthusiasm. I actually wish I could have the same enthusiasm about him. But I honestly do just see it as player trading.
One man who is not too enthusiastic about Chelsea Football Club, Gary Neville. Now, Gary Neville is developing a bit of a habit here, isn't he? Because after the League Cup final, he called us blue billionaire bottle jobs, right? Blue billionaire bottle jobs because we failed over, 90 minutes, 90 plus minutes, 100 minutes actually in that game to beat a team that at the time were top of the Premier League, to beat a team that finished third in the Premier League and were actually in a title race right up until the death in Jurgen Klopp's last season in Liverpool. Then he goes on to get a role punditry. I think he's ITV or BBC, one of them. I think he's ITV. Yeah. Goes on to get a punditry role at Euro 2024. And they're watching a Spain game. And after the game, he states this. I'll read it out. Do you want the Gary Neville accent? Or
Yes, I want the full accent, please, yeah.
I didn't think... No, I can't do it. Rubbish at the
Just
Gary
do it in
Neville
American.
accent.
You slip into the American.
Yeah. I didn't think he would play. He's not been convincing at Chelsea at all. He played a few games towards the end of the season. He's aggressive. He's tenacious. He's a busy little fullback. That price tag still astounds everybody, and I think still to this day, I think he's one of the reasons why we think Spain probably can't go all the way. Is that a fucking joke? Cucurella, by the way, he is talking about the guy who, in Gary Neville's words, he's not been convincing at Chelsea. He played a few games towards the end of the season. A few. What's a few? What is a few?
I mean, a few I would say would probably be 5, 6.
Yeah, a few games.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, he played a few games towards the end of the season. Cucurella was imperative in us having the end of season run that we had, right? Many people will say, oh, it was when Enzo Fernandez came out of the team, which, okay, yeah, potentially. But you could also say it was when Cucurella's role within the team changed. He inverted, came into the midfield alongside Caicedo and proved his worth. And was it £67 million worth of worth? Okay, maybe not. Maybe it wasn't. But I tell you what, I don't think that any player with the stylistic gameplay of Cucurella is really worth that sort of money, because Cucurella is actually a player in the mould of the old school fullbacks, isn't he?
Yeah.
The fullbacks that didn't really get up and down the wings all that much and provide goals and assists. So there's no one that's come into my head that played that sort of style of football. Maybe scored, 5 goals in 400 games for Man United for all those years. Obviously, Cucurella's played about, 180 club games. He's got 7 goals already. So still better at the offensive side. More assists as well already than Gary Neville. So still better. Well, actually, I don't know if he has got more assists. I just made that up. But it sounds good.
He probably has, let's be honest.
Sounds good. He probably
great.
has.
Yeah.
Harsh from Gary Neville when he's talking about Cucurella?
Mate, it's quite obvious, right? Gary Neville doesn't actually watch Chelsea that often, does he?
You've hit the nail on the head. Yeah. You've absolutely hit the nail on the head there. That was the most obvious thing that came from it. And listen, fucking hell, mate, I'm not going to be a snide and say that I've never spoke about a player that I haven't watched in depth all that much, or I've maybe only watched highlights of and whatnot. But to say that Cucurella this season has not been convincing. He's been almost like, if it weren't for Cole Palmer in there and Malo Gusto, I think you'd give fucking Cucurella player of the season, didn't you?
I'll tell you what, Gary Neville's talent ID, I have to say, has always been great though, hasn't it? In his time in Valencia, he was unbelievable at setting up a team, identifying the players that were going to, push them up the league, and actually performed really well as a manager.
Yes.
So, I'm actually surprised that Gary Neville has gone into punditry when he was so good as a manager.
Yeah,
it's weird.
How did it end? What did he? Did he just? Let me guess. He just, because I can't even remember now. I'm actually not being trying to stick the knife in Gary Neville. Like, how did it actually? I'm guessing he just. What did he do? Just clear up in Spain, won it all, and then said, Spanish football?
Yeah,
Completed
yeah.
it, mate.
Spanish football done. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, he won
So went
every
into the
trophy he could
punditry
possibly
game.
have won, and just went, "Do you know what? This one season at Valencia is enough. I'm just going to go back and work for Sky Sports because that's basically more fun," is what he said. Do you know what I mean? Like he knows he's got the quality to be able to manage at the very top level. In fact, I heard rumours that Real Madrid were in for him.
Yeah.
To take over as the manager. After
But he wouldn't want to go there.
No, he wouldn't. It would be too easy for him.
Too
actually.
easy.
Yeah,
You'd
yeah.
rather do punditry.
Yeah.
What does he need to?
Yeah.
So
It's a real shame, Gary Neville, because he had such a legacy as a player. And I think since the moment he hung up his boots, he's really put his foot in it. And I don't want to say he's a specialist in failure, but the guy does chat a load of shit. And the reason why he chats a load of shit is because it gets clicks and views. But actually, people trust your credibility more than anything. And we just want someone to be able to go on Sky Sports and tell it how it is and actually give us some insight. And that's why punditry, unfortunately, is dying. And more people are watching YouTube these days because there's actually a bit more information out there. Mainly tune into the Joey Knight podcast.
there you go. And if he had tuned into the Joey Knight podcast for at least one episode, he would have understood that Cucurella is a fucking hero. Do not speak badly about him. And the funny thing is, you say about how, like, well, was he even watching the game? Has he even watched the Chelsea game? Sorry. Was he even watching the game that you just spoke about? Cucurella cleared one off the line in that game. He had a good game.
To displace Grimaldo in the Spanish setup tells you everything you need to know because he's had an unbelievable season.
No, Leverkusen, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, unbelievable season. So Cucurella must be doing something well in training. And let's be honest, Spain have got a glut of options. At left back, all over the pitch, they've got a glut of options. So the manager must be seeing something to trust Cucurella. And like you said, mate, he's been immense. Like even in the warm-up games, he was absolutely immense. He's been fantastic. And I have to say, I think we do have to give a little bit of credit to Cucurella more generally right now because he's shut a load of people up. He's not just shut Gary Neville up. He's shut you, me, we all
No, he
were
hasn't shut
dismissive.
me up.
Well, you're now saying even more about him.
There you go. There you go. If anything, he's got me talking more.
Yeah, we're doing a video later on all about the Chelsea best 11 of all time. Imagine if you didn't have Ashley Cole in your team. Cucurella would be up there
Yeah.
as left backs.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. No, do you know what?
Who is
Cucurella,
the heir to the throne at left back if you take Ashley Cole out?
let's not spoil it because I've got a wonderful option because I think you're going to end up taking Ashley Cole.
Should we tell him about this video?
Yeah, go on.
Right.
Tease it.
Is a draft the right word for it?
Yeah, draft is 100% the right word.
Yeah, so we're going to do a Chelsea all-time 11 draft, right? You can tell the season's over, just any old shit. No, but it's going to be a really
This
fun.
is a good
It's going to be a
video.
really fun, mate. I'm gonna blow your mind here, right? You know, you always find it mad at these little interactions I have with people and that, right? And I'm telling you, bruv, like every day someone will come over and say, "Oh, see your podcast," like whatever, yeah. This guy, I'm walking through Epsom High Street the other day, right? And he'll be watching this because I know he watches every video from what I'm about to tell you. Walking through Epsom High Street, I've got my headphones on, and he's like, gone like that, and I'm like, "All right, mate." And he went, yeah, oh, fucking hell, what's your podcast? And I was like, oh, yes, bruv, it's a nice one. And he went, when you going to do the away kits?
That is top knowledge. Well done. Because no one watched that.
But I went, what?
Yeah.
And he went, the away kits. When you done the ranking all the home kits. When you going to do the away kits?
Yeah.
And he was actually invested in it. And I was like, mate, I've just met Stan. I've just met my super fan.
I love it.
No, I'm joking.
I love it.
No, he's a good lad. Good lad.
Yeah, I had a guy come up to me in a pub. Shout out to Tom, who also watches us and says that
Tom
he
Birchie,
loves
the bloke
the
living in
video.
Thailand?
Yeah.
I've seen that fella.
Absolutely loves the videos. So shout out to him as well. Yeah, mate, it's been fucking brilliant. I love it. I have to say though, we're probably not going to do the away kits because no one watched that video.
No one watched the fucking video. Although it still ticks up a little bit.
Okay,
but yeah,
okay.
this draft we're going to do, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to do an all-time Chelsea 11. But, for example, the way it works, once you've picked someone, you can't then pick them. So I think what we'll do is we'll start off by having two team captains, which is obviously...
Two team captains, what? That as in like captains of the entire squad?
Yeah, because otherwise, like, it's not going to be fair if both of us have these two players in one team. Like, I need to get one and you get one.
No, I think what we do is we do it where someone picks first. We'll do rock, paper, scissors. Someone picks first, and then the next person gets two picks. And then it's fair.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Two picks.
That's how it works.
Is that how it works?
Yeah, that's how it works.
I thought we'd just go like, I get JT as my captain, you get Lamps as yours, and then we go one pick each.
Mate, I'm surprised that you've gone for Lamps.
What? I said JT.
Yeah, but as in you could have a couple of other options there.
Yeah, because you're thinking Drogba, I know. But
We're spoiling the video.
we'll get on to that. Listen, I wanted to ask you. You said you had another little transfer rumour that's just popped up today, no?
Yeah. Breaking news. Have you got a theme tune for this? I thought you were going to overlay some really cool music
No,
there.
there's one's having no overlay footage on it, actually, because I'm going to get it straight out today. So
I've
you
heard
get
some
what you're
rumours.
given, that, Jacob.
I've heard some rumours about another striker. And in fact, mate, I was going to do a video all on my channel all about this, right? Because we've heard so many rumours recently. We've
Big up
heard
the Josh Aveste podcast.
Oh,
Is it called the
stop
Josh
it.
Aveste podcast?
It's just called Josh Aveste. Yeah.
I'll tell you where you find it.
YouTube.
In the description to this one. Head over there.
Thank you very much. I was looking at it and we've got options. Mark Gui. Have you heard of him?
Mark Gahey, you
No,
want
Mark Gui.
Mark Gui.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Different player. Barcelona Academy, £5 million apparently release clause. Apparently we're in for another
They give you
striker.
10.
There you go. On Meridian. On Meridian.
Oh, Meridian.
Exactly.
Sure, I've ordered a takeaway from there.
I think it sounds a bit like a Pokemon. He's another player that we're interested in. Duran, obviously, Garassi. Now we've got another rumour, Joey. The rumour is about Jonathan David.
Which one, Jonathan or David?
Yeah, exactly. He loves the first name. He's coming in from Ligue 1. He's got 1 year left on his contract. He's right-footed, striker, scores goals left, right and centre. I've signed him about 3 times in Football Manager, so he must be good. All-round player. He's actually a bit shorter than I thought he was. I think he's about 6 foot flat, which as a striker, just not tall enough.
Hate short people.
Yeah, you really
Hate
do.
'em.
But do you know what? He's played, I think, for Lille for 5 seasons. He scored over 13 goals in each season. He scored 20 in the season before last, 18 in the last season. Does that excite you in Liga?
How much are you talking, price tag wise?
Well, he's in last year of his contract. You'd hope
20 mil?
relatively
20 mil?
cheap.
20?
Let's just call it around 20.
Round 20?
Round 20. Why
Yeah, I'd
not?
have him for 20.
I love how easy you get
I don't really
convinced.
watch much of him, though, to be honest. Like, what's his
think-
wages like?
His wages won't be massive. I think.
Is it bad that we care about wages?
Well,
Because 20 years ago, like, do
no.
you think like our dads or whatever used to sit and go,
that's my point.
Yeah, but what's he on?
But that's
like,
my point generally, is like, I do just want this whole PSR shit to be scrapped. I want Newcastle to be able to spend whatever the fuck they want. Let's
'em
get
go for
United spending whatever the fuck they want, and let's just go crazy.
No,
because
let's-
we want him.
No,
we want all the best players.
Let's keep close tabs on United. Make sure them and City aren't really doing anything they
Right,
shouldn't be.
I've got
you
one
know?
for you. If money
But
was no object,
us and Newcastle.
if money was no object this season, you could sign any player in the world. Bearing in mind Mbappe's just gone, so you can't sign him. Haaland probably isn't going to go. Who would you sign?
But Haaland wouldn't be on my list anyway.
Okay, who would you sign?
What if I could just sign any
Money,
player in
no
the world
object.
right now?
Yeah.
Any player in the world?
Yeah.
Any player in the world right now, if money was no object.
Let's do European players, because then it's related to the Euros.
Yeah, I mean,
as well.
I mean, you'd probably go for Mbappe. You'd probably go.
Yeah,
for
but Mbappe's gone, so you can't sign him. He's gone to round
You just
six.
said money no object.
No,
We're
but as in
talking
I
about
said not
hypothetical-
Mbappe and not Haaland.
Oh, not Mbappe and not Haaland. Okay.
Yeah.
In that case, probably sign Vinicius.
I like that shout. That's
No,
good.
fuck
That's
that.
a
Sign
great shout.
Bellingham actually.
Yeah, Bellingham would be unreal.
Yeah.
I like Bellingham a lot.
Or
I'm gonna
if
go.
money was no object, I'd probably give a contract extension to Sterling.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he is a lot of money.
Sign him down for another 6 years.
Do you know my slightly more realistic one, and actually bring him home
Kai Havertz.
would be
Mason Mount.
It would be Musiala.
Yeah.
He's fucking
like it.
unreal. He's
Germany
played so
looking
well for
decent.
Germany.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's more, maybe money no object isn't fair there.
Should we quickly tell him what's going on with the Euro content?
Go on.
Nothing. Fucking up my algorithm.
Yeah,
I
think people made it quite clear as well. You're here for the Chelsea.
Yeah,
So-
they are. I'm
That's
listening
fine.
to you lot. I'm trying. I really wanted
Yeah.
to put Euro content out all the time, but the numbers were pony. It was really doing bad things to my algorithm, and you lot just want the Chelsea content. So we still talk about it.
I like talking about Chelsea, to be
Yeah,
fair. That's
I do
why
like
we're
talking
here.
about Chelsea. Speaking of Chelsea, by the way, we're opening up against Manchester City at Stamford Bridge on the first day of the season.
Yeah.
By the way, first days of the season never really easy for Chelsea, especially a recent. I think we had an away trip to Everton in Tuchel's last season.
Yeah.
Right. I know it's Everton, and I know they really nearly got relegated, stayed up on the last day that season. But I always just think like an away trip at Goodison is never easy.
I think that's one of our hardest games of the season away at Everton.
Away
at West Ham, away at Everton, I always cringe.
And then, obviously, the season gone by, we started the opening day against Liverpool.
That was
this
a really
season.
hard
We start
game.
the opening day against Man City. They don't come easier.
No,
they don't come
I
easier.
thought the supercomputer was conditioned to say that the top teams didn't play each other.
Was it?
Well, there is a rule in the supercomputer that I think derbies don't happen on the first day, and then the first and second place can't play each other. But we did finish 6th, so maybe that's part of it.
Don't worry about that. Not like obviously. Look, we'll break down that game, but just in terms of the importance and just in terms of going into that game, this can either go one or two ways, can't it?
Totally. You're totally right. It could be unbelievable, a momentum builder for the rest of the season, really putting us on the map, showing that Maresca isn't the protege to Pep Guardiola and he can mix it. Or it's the other way where it's Man City absolutely destroy us and it's chaos. The fans get immediately on the manager and we're starting the season in an incredibly negative way.
I don't think they would get immediately on the manager. Look at...
Oh, we never do that.
Yeah, I mean, I know he's a club legend, but look at Lampard. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Opening day.
Yeah, but that's completely different to the pressure, the cauldron.
Wasn't that opening day? We got beat.
What was it?
Was it 4-something by Man United? That was like opening day, wasn't it?
That wasn't good, was it?
Yeah. Was
that Lampard's first tenure? I
think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, because he weren't there for an opening day on a second. So what I'm saying is they didn't get on his back all that much. I think if City rocked up to Stamford Bridge and fucking beat us 3-1 or something, I don't think people would be, erecting banners straight away from Maresca out.
You must admit, though, like the fans aren't going to forget what happened to Pochettino. He's going to be under a lot of pressure.
Yeah. It's not going to be good.
Yeah.
But the good news is this. I don't think it's going to go that way. I'll take a draw, but mate, could you imagine if Chelsea open up boiling hot August day? It's going to be lovely, by the way. I'm just going to have just turned 30. My birthday party. Yeah.
That's gonna be fucking
it's going to be a lovely.
I think you're going to be hungover for 3 days.
Fucking hell, I'm going to be hungover for about a week. We're just going to come back from LA. We are going to be opening up against Man City. If we go to Stamford Bridge, if we rock up at Stamford Bridge on the opening day against Manchester City and get off to a winning start, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That would be unreal, wouldn't it?
And I do think there's a time to get City opening day.
And also, let's just think about this. They've got a lot of players playing international football this summer, probably a lot more than us, right? Ake's obviously featuring for the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Diaz is playing very well for Portugal. They're going to be going deep into the tournament. Bernardo Silva's still going to be there, or is he? He might even be sold.
Yeah, but don't feel sorry for City, mate.
Why?
Just feel sorry for Palace.
If a lot of players there,
if you're on about international players out on duty this tournament, feel sorry for Palace.
I feel sorry because they're not going to have a squad next season because they're going to be gutted, aren't they?
I think they'll be gutted.
Eze could go. Olise's obviously already gone. Anderson, I think, is really criminally underrated at the back. He looks good for Denmark.
Are you bothered that we didn't get Michael Olise?
Shall we talk about this? Yeah. Initially I was gutted, and I think there's a lot of sentiment online that people were absolutely gutted about him. I think we've made it quite clear, haven't we, that he was our number one target for the entire summer.
Yeah, I think he
obvious.
was. Yeah.
I think we've chased him for 18 months, and there's been a long, protracted sort of like transfer situation that we've been looking at. I think quality-wise, he is going to be an unbelievable player. I think the connection to our academy as well is something that, again, I'd love to see more Chelsea Academy players coming through and playing for us as well. The fact that he's gone to Bayern, I think he's going to absolutely tear it up in the Bundesliga. He'll look far better than he even would even in the Premier League. And I think his value will go sky high.
You see where he's gone to Bayern as well? It sort of blows my theory out of the water when I was talking about why we could potentially be in the running for him. And I was going, if we offer him good wages and he doesn't have to leave London, well, he's just left England and he's going to Germany. Yeah. So realistically, I don't know, let's say, if us and Man City or if us and Man United had have entered the race for Michael Olise. I mean, we're here in Newcastle.
Well, this is interesting, isn't it? Because the teams that I saw particular interest were United, Newcastle, Chelsea, and then obviously Bayern came out of nowhere, really. The three things that those boys have in common is no Champions League football.
Yeah.
And it's quite obvious what Olise wanted. He wanted to play at the top level. And under Bayern, not only will he be playing at the top level, he'll be arguably challenging for the Champions League, or they should be, certainly, shouldn't they? So, I think it is levels with that. The thing that we used to have, mate, beyond anything else, was the allure of Champions League football. And the fact that we don't have that, and I tell you what, that's even more pressure on Maresca now. If we don't start getting Champions League football soon, we're going to miss out on all of these other players. Like, you know, we can't just constantly sign 18-year-olds forever. We are going to have to sign eventually some like top-class talent to a degree. And if we don't have Champions League football, why would they leave their current clubs? Like, if you're talking about, you know, Williams in Spain, who we're looking for as a backup now for Olise, like, he's going to want to play Champions League football as well, isn't he? Do you know what I mean?
Sorry, just while it's in my head, I was watching Portugal yesterday.
Yeah.
I've come to a conclusion.
Go on.
Rafael Leão,
Shit.
hype job.
He didn't do it. He didn't do very well in the league last season. Didn't really contribute with goals and assists too much.
So I've seen him live twice. He'd never been good either time, but he was being, you know, marked by Reece James both times.
Tells you everything you need to know.
There you go.
Yeah.
But whenever I watch him, I'm just like, are you good or are you just a specimen and pretty quick?
I find it weird, actually, that Jota isn't playing over him. Do you know what I mean? In that Portugal team. They've got some, like, Neto's on the bench. He comes on. By the way, I'd take Neto. 100% I'd buy him.
Portugal. Do you think they're going to win it?
Mate, this was my prediction. I think Portugal will go all the way.
Because on match day 1, they didn't look like they gelled at all.
Yeah, but they won the game, didn't they?
But then Turkey are decent. And they smashed them.
Absolutely smashed them. They're looking far more functional right now than France are.
That group, by the way, what is the group? Portugal did play Turkey yesterday, didn't they?
Yeah,
it was. What is the group that's got Belgium in it? Got Belgium, Romania, Ukraine, and Slovakia.
Yeah.
I tell you
all
what,
got 3 points, haven't they?
that's a good group.
Yeah.
That's an interesting group. You know who my little ones I like are, and I never backed them as dark horses. I actually think. Do you remember when we spoke about Euros? I said Austria dark horses.
Yeah,
but,
by the way, looking good.
they're
looking all right.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah.
But Romania, I like them.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't think anyone would have said that they were dark horses for the tournament. So
My favourite colour is yellow. So
there you go.
There you go.
Tells
There you go.
what to say.
People, let us know your thoughts on Kellyman, on Jhon Duran, on
Jonathan David, the man with two names.
David. Yeah, never trust a man with two names.
Yeah.
Jonathan, David, and the rest of it. Manchester City on the opening day. Subscribe to Josh's channel. It is linked in the description, and I will see you all in the next one.